You're watching Plain Speak with me, Poonam Burde. We're coming to you live from the CNN News 18 Primetime studio, presented by Green Lamb Laminates. Today was yet another day of Parliament washout. Lok Sabha was adjourned almost immediately, unlike the Rajya Sabha, which tried to function despite the din and the chaos. Ultimately, after multiple adjournments, the upper house too was done for the day. The face-off largely revolved around what the BJP tags as Congress's anti-India nexus, a charge the Congress and some of its allies as well have vehemently denied. Now, both sides, both the Treasury benches and the opposition benches, have found their own convenient issues, it seems, to beat the other with. In the process, neither side is answering the grave allegations levelled against it by the other. In the sound and fury of crony capitalism versus foreign interference, Parliament is being held hostage. In fact, now the India bloc parties are mulling a no-confidence motion against Rajya Sabha Chairman Jagdeep Dhankar for allegedly favouring the Treasury benches and at their behest adjourning the Rajya Sabha multiple times. They said that these repeated adjournments only benefit the central government and for which Jagdeep Dhankar is acting in their favour. Now, what was triggered by a media part expose last week has now snowballed into a much larger issue. The BJP opened up a new front. It was Rahul Gandhi last week. It was Sonia Gandhi today. They claim that Sonia Gandhi is linked to an organization that's financed by George Soros' Foundation and it has backed the idea of separating Kashmir from India. BJP claimed that Sonia Gandhi's past role as the co-president of the Forum of Democratic Leaders in Asia Pacific Foundation, which allegedly shared views favouring Kashmir's independence, is a matter of concern. The party also pointed to partnerships between the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation, of which Sonia Gandhi was the chair, and Soros-linked organizations as evidence of foreign influence in domestic affairs. Now, these allegations are grave, they need to be addressed. But should the people of the country, should you and I be worried? Many would say that there are several reasons both sides have answering to do. One, that the organization that is known to back independent Kashmir has alleged links, as claimed by the BJP, with the Congress party. It's the principal opposition party in this country. True or not, it's for the Congress to clarify. It is the right of every Indian to know that. So far, there has been no clear denial or distancing from the Congress just yet, which is also why there is speculation of where this is going. There is no actual proof, though, of the Congress actually playing into the foreign hand. Many say this is the BJP trying to be a conspiracy theorist. Is that the case? If so, then the BJP too needs to come clean. Allegations that have been put against the principal opposition party of this country, they are about national security, about foreign interference in domestic issues. It is India's interests that are at stake, which is why allegations without actual evidence should not be made. They're not in the interests of the nation. What is even worse is that Parliament proceedings are being halted due to the showdown. We're third week in as far as the winter session goes. For how long will Parliament be held ransom to both sides sticking their guns to their particular issues and business actually taking a hit? Now that ruckus and logjam continued, the Parliament, like I said, is being halted. Neither side willing to budge. The standoff has been subdued even after 3 weeks since the winter session began. We are, of course, going to be seeing the constitution debate that takes place on Friday and Saturday, and in the run-up to that, this is only adding to the chaos. The biggest flashpoint, of course, being the Soros storm. The NDA wants to discuss the Sonia Gandhi link to the Forum of Democratic Leaders in Asia Pacific Foundation, Rahul Gandhi's alleged link to OCCRP. The Congress is, on its part, demanding a discussion on crony capitalism. They've been protesting about it outside the Parliament as well. The Sonia link is, however, just the tip of the iceberg, says the BJP. Congress and the NDA wants to also discuss how Rahul Gandhi has been using, like I said, OCCRP time and again to peddle a certain narrative. The opposition hopes to corner the government by demanding a debate on the 24th of November violence that took place in Sambal. The Samajwadi Party, of course, is spearheading that particular discussion. The TMC wants to raise the issue of ongoing violence in the state of Manipur as well. Now, despite the showdown, the NDA government has managed to pass 4 of the 16 bills that were listed for this session, but we still have more to go. Another 11 days in hand before the session concludes. The government is looking forward to focusing on those pending 12 bills. Remember, Kiran Rijiju, the Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister, right at the start of the session had said that the NDA does not need the numbers as far as passing bills in Lok Sabha is concerned, but it is about parliamentary procedure. A healthy democracy needs a healthy debate, which is why we want the opposition to come and discuss these bills before they're actually passed. The opposition seeks to raise the issue of unemployment. They want inflation to be discussed, price rise to be discussed on the floor of the House. More and more political leaders are expressing a concern over the safety of Hindus and minorities in Bangladesh as well. The centre has even reached out to opposition to discuss the crisis in Bangladesh. However, all of those efforts seem to are not bearing any fruit because both sides sticking to their guns, not letting the parliament function. Another bone of contention between the government and the opposition has been the alleged charge of discrimination when it comes to allocation of funds to opposition-ruled states. As the tug-of-war over these plethora of issues continues, the big question really remains as to what exactly is this end game as far as the parliament is concerned. This Soros storm continues. But the question we want to ask here on Plain Speak is it a real threat to national security as the BJP claims, or is it a mere red herring?
Let me give precedence to the
अपनी बात रखें
सर संजय सुनिए
दूसरों को उपदेश दे रहे हैं
हमारा पार्टी को आप बात करने का कोई जरूरत नहीं है मेरे पर आरोप लगाने की बजाय
नहीं आरोप नहीं
सदन की कार्रवाई 12 बजे तक के लिए स्थगित की जाती है
This is all part of a game plan.
Soros and his foundation. It is not only George Soros. George Soros and many other elements who are working against India are to be countered unitedly by every citizen of India.
खुद गद्दारी करते हैं उनके एजेंट बन के काम करते हैं जिस तरीके से जॉर्ज सोरोस के साथ सामने आता है वह बहुत ही चिंताजनक है सर जो लीडर ऑफ द हाउस बोले उन्होंने जो बोले वो सरासर झूठ है
I'm so impressed that BJP takes so much effort to create a false narrative. They pick and choose the narrative they want. They will pick up an OCCRP report, but they will ignore the World Hunger Index, they will ignore the World Press Freedom Index, and they will ignore all the various reports that talk about backsliding of democracy in India.
Let's open this up. Ajay Alok, national spokesperson of the BJP, Arshpreet Kadyal, spokesperson of the Congress, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Pradeep Bharti is with us, and senior journalist R. Rajgopalan joins us as well. Let me begin by asking Arshpreet Kadyal. The allegations that the BJP has made that Sonia Gandhi has or did have links with an organization that was funded by George Soros, are they true or not? Arshpreet, I believe we've lost that line with him. We'll try and reconnect. But Ajay Alok, let me ask you this. The Congress on its part has said that this is nothing but conspiracy theory, a bit to divert attention. Is there any proof, credible proof, to link Rahul Gandhi to George Soros or to the Open Society Foundation or Sonia Gandhi to the organization even now? Is there any credible evidence to suggest so?
There are credible evidences, and it's our duty to raise this in the parliament and also to take it to the public. Now, FDL-AP is an NGO. Everybody here in the panel knows this very nicely. It was launched in 1994. Everybody knows it. The main motive of this NGO was Free Kashmir. Why Sonia Gandhi was co-president? It's there in black and white for everyone to see. Why she was the co-president there? Where billions of dollars were funded since 1994. No explanation. Okay, forget that. There is a domain, there is a picture in the public domain, there is a saying in the public domain, and it's very much ample clear in the public domain that George Soros himself went to meet Shobna auntie of Rahul Gandhi, in Chandigarh in 2009. When asked about his son, Anil Nehru accompanied, when asked about what was the meeting about, no comment. Later on, Rahul Gandhi also went to meet Shobna auntie. Who was Shobna auntie? Cousin of, wife of B.K. Nehru. Cousin of Indira Gandhi. They are not connected from now, they are connected for the last 40, 45 years. It's not a new story what we are telling. Now, who is George Soros? What was his main funder? Why he came into the picture? His organization is the sole organization in India who is funding Rohingyas legal aid. True or false? Everybody knows true. He is the one who openly came out against CA and RC. True or false? Everybody knows it's true. What was the need for him to interfere in the internal affairs of the India? But he has a habit because the first family gave him that access. There are numerous instances where George Soros is responsible for indirectly destabilizing India, and the first family, Gandhi family, is helping through and throughout. Now, varieties of democracy, VDP, they posted that the India's democracy has gone worse than Pakistan and it's worse than Bangladesh. Now, look at what's happening in Bangladesh, and Rahul Gandhi echoed his views on that by posting a tweet again in the public domain. What more evidence you want? George Soros is the one who just questions the industrial houses of this country, Adani, multiple times, fine. He raises question on Rafale. Who is he? Remember 1971, during the Bangladesh war, when United States President Nixon threatened Indira Gandhi to send the 7 fleets to India. And the whole opposition, which was headed by Atal Bihari Vajpayee, we stood up with the government and we said, we will not tolerate any external threat. And today our opposition is asking the external threats, please save us. Rahul Gandhi goes to US, Rahul Gandhi goes to UK, he says the democracy in danger, and the so-called flag markers of the democracy like US, England, Britain, Germany, they are keeping quiet. What is this? You have gone so rogue without power that you can say anything.
Congress says that this is all just a coincidence, that certain statements or narrative was peddled by George Soros' Open Society Foundation or other organizations that were linked to George Soros, and the Congress raking it up. But Ashpreet Kadyal, you're back with us, and if you heard what I had to ask you earlier, the links that the BJP is accusing the Congress of having, of Sonia Gandhi having with an organization that fought for an independent Kashmir, or Rahul Gandhi picking up from what George Soros and other organizations that are backed by George Soros picking up, are those allegations true or not?
Well, number one, we all know what the Bharatiya Janata Party is trying to do here. The Bharatiya Janata Party, in order to protect one person, is playing mission divert attention. Now, we've all seen how in 10 seconds, how the House gets adjourned. We've all seen how the Bharatiya Janata Party's government is running away from an inquiry. Now, what I do not understand is, why does the Bharatiya Janata Party not want an investigation to happen? What possible problem do you have with it? Do not believe any political party. Don't believe any individual. You yourself could order an inquiry, but despite there being an option of the inquiry, the Bharatiya Janata Party wants to be judge, jury, and executioner, wants to defend and protect and help and do everything under the sun, but not order an inquiry. The first question is why? What possible problem do you have in an inquiry? If there's nothing to hide, if there's nothing to brush under the carpet, then let the inquiry happen. The person would be found innocent. But you're not even letting that happen. Number two, as per the rule, when we were seeking an adjournment motion, we all see how the Bharatiya Janata Party did not, how their leaders were reacting, and how there was no discussion that was allowed to happen. And this has been happening in the last so many days. The money of the taxpayers is being wasted. The time of the taxpayers is being wasted simply because the Bharatiya Janata Party does not want the truth to be uncovered. And number three, what's important is that the Rajya Sabha's chairman also did not admit their notices. They also did not allow for the discussion to happen on what the Bharatiya Janata Party's leaders were saying. So that is one. Number two, Donald Trump, the supposed friend of Mr. Modi, his government has also dismissed the claims of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Now, what I want to know from the Bharatiya Janata Party is, let's instead of indulging into rhetoric, and instead of wasting the time of the people, why not order an inquiry and let the truth come out in front of the people? What possible problem could you have with that?
Sure, but Ashpreet Kadyal, you still haven't answered my question. Was Sonia Gandhi part of this organization, was linked to this organization that is fighting for the cause of an independent Kashmir? Yes or no?
Now, I did answer your question. It's just that the Bharatiya Janata Party, like I told you, is trying to divert attention. Being in the government, they have the IT, the ED, the CBI, all the agencies, all the power. If I may, I'll answer your question. Answering your question, they have everything. Is there any evidence to that? The answer to that is no. Has the Bharatiya Janata Party brought about any substantial piece of information? The answer to that is no. Now, what we have always seen is when you ask the Bharatiya Janata Party a question, they will never answer that question. They will come up with another question. if you hurl an accusation, allegation against someone, the Bharatiya Janata Party will not order an inquiry. They will hurl another allegation, accusation at you, and that is what their expertise is. So let's
Sure,
not
but it's a yes or no question. Was Sonia Gandhi part of this or co-president of this organization that was linked to George Soros and has been fighting vocally for an independent Kashmir?
If I may, I just told you that the Bharatiya Janata Party has all the power, all the agencies which could prove anything.
Sure.
If there is, so has anything been proven?
So you're saying there isn't?
No.
Or it's just that the BJP hasn't proved it?
We are saying that if there was any basis to that, if there was any truth to that, the Bharatiya Janata Party would have acted upon it. They haven't acted upon it in the last 10 years. There's nothing to it. Number two, now come to the main point. We hurled an accusation. The Bharatiya Janata Party, instead of looking into that, hurled another accusation at us. Now, this is what is called being the defense lawyer of an individual who we all know the Bharatiya Janata Party loves, protects, defends, and goes to any length. So my question to the Bharatiya Janata Party is, you have all the power, you have all the agencies, have any inquiry, but do something, don't just talk.
Sure, Ajay Alok, that's why these questions are being raised of whether this is just in the realm of accusations and trying to pitch a certain narrative against the Congress, because questions are being asked that this Open Society Foundation has been working in India, has offices in India, they haven't been banned, they haven't been shut down. These allegations are being made, but action is not being taken. Sambit Patra last week called the leader of opposition of this country the biggest traitor. If that is the case, will the BJP follow it up and file a case of sedition against him if it is in fact a leader of opposition, no less, indulging in treachery?
Well, the leader of opposition is also facing charges in the court for keeping a dual citizenship or having a British passport and also an Indian passport, which is due for hearing on 19th December. If that claim comes to be true, will Congress Party expel Rahul Gandhi? Because the law of this land will take its own course. What we are saying is there in the public domain. Please go check. I'm asking CNN News 18, is that the worldwide branches? Please go and check FDL-AP. Formation, foundation, mission, and the board of directors and the board members. Sonia Gandhi's name is there in the public domain. We don't need to prove anything. Why Congress is running from all these things? Why Congress is supporting those fellows who want to destabilize India? That is the question. And if we say that a Donald Trump government also refuses BJP government, sir, we don't have any friendship with Donald Trump unlike you used to have. And right now it's not Donald Trump government yet. It's still Biden government. And what we have raised the question about deep-seated activity, deep state activity, conspiring against India, that's also against you. It's not a political charge what we are making against the United States. And we fail to, and we refuse to accept that these things were not being done. Be an Indian first, then a Congressee. Like
Ajay,
what I reminded you in 1971 about Nixon.
Like I said, the Congress is not denying that Sonia Gandhi was a part of this organization. Ashpreet Kadyal also said that. But why counter it with an accusation and not act? If like the BJP says, this is a great act against the nation's interest, then why not take action under the law? Why just keep it in the realm of making accusations? Is the question many are asking.
I did say there is no basis
See,
for that.
it's not Poonam, it's not a realm of making accusation. It's not a realm of, it's not a realm of making accusation. If we say Sonia Gandhi has conspired in it, definitely there's going to be, we are going to look after it. Because whatever is coming one after the other. I mean, just realize National Herald case came way back in 2012. But our legal process is that it's still in the court pending. They are on bail. Now this has come up. Now billions of dollars has been infused in this NGO who's working for Kashmir as a separate entity. I would just like to ask, Sonia Gandhi was not in politics at that point of time in 1994 when she became co-president. But after becoming president of this country, of Congress Party in 1999 when it was a principal opposition party, why did she choose to lead that? While being UPS chairperson, why did she choose to be on that chair? Why? This is the question.
10 seconds.
Ashpreet, 30 seconds. I'll need to get in the other two.
If you are aiding and abetting, if you are aiding and abetting a crime,
you've made the charge, Ajay Alok, let him respond.
One thing is
and that's why we are going to take it.
Now I did not interrupt him. I hope he will not interrupt me.
Go ahead, Ashpreet.
Has the Bharatiya Janata Party not given a certificate of failure to themselves by saying that they have been in power for the last 10 years, 10 and a half years, and this has been, are they saying that this was happening under their nose and they haven't acted upon it, they could not see it for the last 10 years, and now out of the blue, when we made an allegation, when we asked for an inquiry, That is when they come up with it. So is the Bharatiya Janata Party not giving a certificate of failure to themselves by saying this? Number two, my question to the Bharatiya Janata Party is, and it's still unanswered, why are you running away from a JPC? What possible concern could you have?
What for? JPC for what?
I mean, if I may,
JPC for what, sir?
I'll tell you the entire country is telling you for what. If the Bharatiya Janata Party is not interested in hearing,
You are not entire country. You are not entire country. Get out of the notion.
My question.
Get out of the notion. You are not entire country. You are not even entire opposition now.
1 second. How can the
You are not even an entire opposition now.
Okay, Ajay Alok and Arshpreet
How
Kadyal.
can you decide in that?
Okay, Arshpreet Kadyal and Ajay Alok. Let me get in the other two gentlemen as well.
Who is detrimental to India's
and
interest?
it's not about
Adani
the
or
BJP
Soros?
deciding. It's a lot of
Who
people
is
within the
detrimental to
India
India's
bloc,
interest?
Arshpreet Kadyal, that also don't want the Congress to be the face of the opposition, and there are many others that are speaking out vocally now. But let me get in the other two gentlemen as well.
Also, what happened in Maharashtra?
Sure. Pradeep Bhati, is the Samajwadi Party with the Congress on this issue or not?
Good evening and good evening to all my co-panelists and all your viewers. First thing I want to know, Poonam, is BJP the greatest admirer and disciple of George Soros? Why they are remembering and recalling him in, day out and doing nothing? If he is a threat to the national security or has planned to sabotage our democracy, then what action has central government has taken till date other than lip service? So you have all the competent authority agencies and authorities. Rather you are engaged in the task to target these opposition party and defaming them and maligning their images. Till date, someone has, or till the time they actually joined BJP. Now, Poonam, there are 100 and 1,000 of issues in national and state issues which BJP has to answer, from riots to the conspiracy to the polls conspiracy, from shameful acts like cheat haran in the polls and putting guns on the point blank range to stop the and disturb the polls and bringing curfew-like situation. You have seen the police officer. There are 100 other issues pertaining to this matter only. And how the polls and democracy values have brought to the new law in the country and especially in the Uttar Pradesh state. And this is the new era of Mr. Modi's new India. So BJP is comfortable not to answer these inconvenient and shameful, and really they do not have answer to it. So
but Pradeep Bhati, where is the space for any of this answering to happen, because Parliament's not functioning at all? Neither the Lok Sabha nor the Rajya Sabha. There has been adjournment after adjournment. And if the Samajwadi Party does stand with the Congress as far as this crony capitalism issue that the Congress wants to pursue is concerned, why is it that we haven't seen any Samajwadi Party member of Parliament in that protest that happens every single day outside the Parliament at Makardwar?
We have extended our support on all the issues in the India Alliance, as well as whatever is the core issues which we are also raising in the Parliament. We have tried to raise those issues, whether it is Sambal or poll rigging, the mass poll rigging. We are also raising those issues. Why don't you have inquiry on both the gentlemen, whether it's the name coming of a businessman as well as the George Soros? What's wrong in that? And every time it's the responsibility of the ruling party to make the consensus and consult in the Parliament. They don't believe in that, and you will be surprised to know that if the BJP, who was in opposition in 15th Lok Sabha, has done the maximum disruptions. And above that, you have made a very important point in the introduction that half of the bill, in fact, half of the bill are being passed without discussing in the Parliament. That's what BJP wants, and 1/3 of bill are been passed in just 1 hour.
But what is the government to do? Should the Parliament stop functioning? Because every now and then we see opposition MPs walk out. The bills are up for discussion, but there is no opposition MP sitting there to discuss those bills. Which is why we've only seen 4 pass out. There are 12. There were 16 that were listed in this session, and there's only 10 more days left.
Consensus in consultancies. They do not believe in consensus, building consensus. That is the biggest drawback.
Sure.
And they want to dictate the entire.
Okay, so the government is dictating, R. Rajgopalan. You've been patiently listening to all political stakeholders here, but the onus of ensuring that the Parliament functions is on the Treasury benches, on the government of the day. We're third week in. Unfortunately, all we've seen is pretty much a washout. Is that what the taxpayers of this country really deserve?
It's not a washout. From my understanding, out of this panel of 5 members, I am the only one correspondent who has covered Parliament for 40 years. And every brick in the Parliament House speak to me because of my long service. Never seen an opposition leader who does theatrics outside the Lok Sabha with a sticker on his behind the body, and he puts Rahul Gandhi puts mouth mask, etc. Today talks are done, and what is the drama he's doing outside the Parliament? He should come inside and speak. Second thing, this type of Rajiv Gandhi Foundation, there is an inquiry by the multidisciplinary monitoring agency set up by Mr. Amit Shah. Mr. Ajay Alok should come out openly when that report will come out. Second thing, ED raid on National Herald is a huge input. Why the government is silent on that? Why they are not making it public? 248 times Mr. Rahul Gandhi went abroad. What did they do? Mr. Rajnath Singh said it on the floor of the House as a Home Minister last regime that he did not take SPG with him. Second, today I learned that in Volker's report, Oil for Sam, it directly involves Madam Sonia Gandhi. Mr. P. Chidambaram ordered an inquiry against Mr. Natwar Singh. Natwar Singh's son was debarred as a MLA. And also Mr. Natwar Singh was removed as a foreign minister. So therefore, Sonia Gandhi's hand is directly in Volker's report. Second, why should Mr. Rahul Gandhi visit the White House and meet Kamala Harris? And what is the correspondence between them? Congress spokesperson should come out clean because he should come homework. He should do homework. Some sort of interesting things are there. BJP also accusing, but they should come out openly now. Second, finally, Poonam, I am afraid my taxpayer money, as Congress spokesperson said, the TA and DA allowances of the MP should be cut if those who stage a dharna outside the Parliament or they elected by the people of 8 crores Tamil Nadu.
But Mr. Rajgopalan, the opposition says that, like I said, the onus of ensuring that the Parliament functions smoothly is on the government of the day. So it's this government that's unable to build consensus and take everybody along and ensure that the Parliament functions.
Consensus means both the hands sound comes out. It should be from the opposition also. They should also come down. No question of theatrics. Inside the Parliament, you show all the Guru Nanak photo, Bhagavan, photo, hand saying, hand is the symbol of that. What type of joker Mr. Rahul Gandhi has been?
If I may, you should mind your words.
Okay, let's not take personal pot shots at anyone. And Rahul Gandhi is now the leader of opposition. But Ashpreet Kadyal, a lot of your own allies are also questioning the kind of what they would call theatrics that Rahul Gandhi indulges in. One from the Samajwadi Party, in fact, just tweeted yesterday, going on to take a jibe at Rahul Gandhi. But let's leave that aside. It's the Parliament that needs to function. And like I said right at the start, it's the taxpayer money that goes into this. Our resources need to be used for issues that matter to us. And politicians from across the board need to talk about that. And if allegations that are being made as far as Congress's alleged links to anti-national nexuses or anti-national foreign agenda is concerned, then they need to be probed. It can't be left into the realm of mere allegations, because then many would say is just a red herring trying for a narrative war rather than anything else. Unfortunately, I'm completely out of time. I have to leave it there. I thank you all, gentlemen, for joining us here on this discussion. On the other side of a very quick break on Plain Speak, we'll get you details of what's transpiring in Bangladesh, because India's Foreign Secretary is in Bangladesh there amid all the atrocities and persecution of Bangladeshi Hindus. We'll get you details.
MDH का किचन किंग. Outgoing US President Joe Biden said that the sudden collapse of the Syrian government under Bashar al-Assad is a fundamental act of justice after decades of repression. Now, but it was also a moment of risk and uncertainty for the Middle East, is the statement that is coming in from Joe Biden. Let's listen into what exactly he had to say.
13 years of civil war in Syria, more than half a century of brutal authoritarian rule by Bashar Assad and his father before him. Rebel forces have forced Assad to resign his office and flee the country. We're not sure where he is, but there's word that he's in Moscow. At long last, the Assad regime has fallen. As we all turn to the question of what comes next, the United States will work with our partners and the stakeholders in Syria to help them seize an opportunity to manage the risks. These past few days have been historic. And, it's in the days ahead that will determine the future of this country. We intend to approach them with strength, wisdom, and resolve. So thank you very much. God bless America, and God protect our troops. Thank you.
Akansha, we just heard the US President Joe Biden. Of course, he is outlining a multi-pronged approach when it comes to maintaining stability in Syria. But given the fact how the situation is right now, how much feasible is it to maintain stability and counter the ISIS that is there?
Right. Sharon, he's saying that first they will be engaging with Syrian groups, and that I think is going to be a very crucial point to begin with. He's also talked about how they, including within the process that's led by the United Nations to establish the transition. And perhaps you can expect that if the United States strike, that sort of rapport is now needed with the rebel forces to explain to them what is expected out of them and how they should be going about it. They will, US also ensure that they will help ensure stability in Eastern Syria, protecting the person against any threats. As you've also highlighted, is the biggest concern that they should not be merging with ISIS, because the HTS, as far as this is concerned, the entire origin of HTS began with the Al-Qaeda. It was only an ideological difference when they sort of, when Al-Qaeda decided to break away from ISIS, so did HTS, and they say it's an ideological difference and that they are different from the ISIS. How different will be during their regime? How different will they be when they start ruling the people of Syria? It proves to be any different, especially when we see how Taliban is operating. It made a lot of forces when close to power again in Afghanistan. They said that we change our approach towards women, but have they really done that? So those are similar concerns which one has for HTS as well. So Joe Biden also talked about how they will support neighbors that include Jordan, Lebanon, Iraq and Israel. Remember, Lebanon and Israel are already engaged in a fight that's going on. We've seen of last week how various violations have been taking place. Of course, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has welcomed the entire change. But how will this now shape up? Will Israel try and occupy this territory? That's also another question. And how vigilant can the United States be, considering Joe Biden, what he's saying is in the capacity of an outgoing president? The other big question is whether this stance will be endorsed by incoming President-elect Donald Trump, who said this is not our fight to fight. So we have to see even the United States and its stance, even though the larger West has welcomed NATO allies. Many are talking about how Turkey has played a very significant role in this entire fall of Assad regime. We see how France has welcomed this entire change, as have other.
Thank you for staying with us. Amid attacks on Hindus and minorities in Bangladesh, India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri is in Dhaka. After holding talks with his counterpart, he held a meeting with the head of the caretaker government, Mohammad Yunus, as well. This is the first high-level official visit after the interim government took over following Sheikh Hasina's ouster. He reiterated India's stand. Misri has drawn the line in Dhaka from expressing concern over attacks on Hindus to highlighting the need for people-centric and people-oriented relationship. New Delhi also raised the need to chart a constructive and inclusive path towards bilateral relations for them to thrive on. Misri presented a firm stand over a gamut of issues. Listen in.
I conveyed our concerns, including those related to the safety and welfare of minorities. We also discussed some regrettable incidents of attacks on cultural, religious and diplomatic properties. There is no reason why this mutually beneficial cooperation should not continue to deliver in the interests of both our peoples. I emphasized that India desires a positive, constructive and mutually beneficial relationship with Bangladesh.
On that note, time for another quick break here on this edition of Plain Speak. But on the other side, we'll get to the political clash that's erupted in Telangana. This is over the Congress government's makeover to the Telangana Thali statue. We'll tell you more about it.
Outgoing US President Joe Biden said that the sudden collapse of the Syrian government under Bashar Assad is a fundamental act of justice after decades of repression. Now, but it was also a moment of risk and uncertainty for the Middle East, is the statement that is coming in from Joe Biden. Let's listen into what exactly he had to say.
13 years of civil war in Syria, more than half a century of brutal authoritarian rule by Bashar Assad and his father before him. Rebel forces have forced Assad to resign his office and flee the country. We're not sure where he is, but there's word that he's in Moscow. At long last, the Assad regime has fallen. As we all turn to the question of what comes next, the United States will work with our partners and the stakeholders in Syria to help them seize an opportunity to manage the risks. These past few days have been historic. And it's in the days ahead that will determine the future of this country. And we intend to approach them with strength, wisdom, and resolve. So thank you very much. God bless America, and God protect our troops. Thank you.
Akansha, we just heard the US President Joe Biden. Of course, he is outlining a multi-pronged approach when it comes to maintaining stability in Syria. But given the fact how the situation is right now, how much feasible is it to maintain stability and counter the ISIS that is there?
Right. Sharon, he's saying that first they will be engaging with Syrian groups, and that I think is going to be a very crucial point to begin with. He's also talked about how they, including within the process that's led by the United Nations to establish the transition. And perhaps you can expect if the United States strike, that sort of rapport is now needed with the rebel forces to explain to them what is expected out of them and how they should be going about it. They will, US also ensure that they will help ensure stability in Eastern Syria, protecting the person against any threats. As you've also highlighted, is the biggest concern that they should not be merging with ISIS, because the HTS, as far as this is concerned, the entire origin of HTS begins with the Al-Qaeda. It was only an ideological difference when they sort of, when Al-Qaeda decided to break away from ISIS, so did HTS, and they say it's an ideological difference and that they are different from the ISIS. How different will be during their regime? How different will they be when they start ruling the people of Syria? They prove to be any different, especially when we see how Taliban is operating. It made a lot of when goes to power again in Afghanistan. They said that we'll change our approach towards women, but have they really done that? So those are similar concerns which one has for HTS as well. So Joe Biden also talked about how they'll support neighbors that include Jordan, Lebanon, Iraq and Israel. Remember, Lebanon and Israel are already engaged in a fight that's going on. We've seen of last week how various violations have been taking place. Of course, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has welcomed the entire change, but how will this now shape up? Will Israel try and occupy this territory? That's also another question. And how vigilant can the United States be, considering Joe Biden, what he's saying is in the capacity of an outgoing president? The other big question is whether this stance will be endorsed by incoming President-elect Donald Trump, who said this is not our fight to fight. So we'll have to see even the United States and its stance, even though the larger West has welcomed NATO allies. Many are talking about how Turkey has played a very significant role in this entire fall of the Assad regime. We see how France has welcomed this entire change, as have other NATO allies even Canada, even the United Kingdom. So we have to see how this up in the ahead, Sherry.
Akansha, I request you to please stay with us as we are getting one more breaking input as far as the situation in Syria is concerned. Now, French President Emmanuel Macron welcomed the fall of the Syrian government headed by Bashar al-Assad and said his country remains committed to security of all in the Middle East. Now, Macron wrote in a post on X, and I quote, "The barbaric state has fallen. At last, I pay tribute to the Syrian people, to their courage, to their patience."
Welcome back. You're watching Plain Speak. The Congress government in Telangana finds itself in the midst of a fresh controversy, or let's say a new version of an old controversy. The makeover of the statue of Telangana Thalli, a symbolic mother goddess of the people of Telangana, has irked the Congress's political rivals. The Revanth Reddy-led government has unveiled this newly designed statue that you see on your screens at the state secretariat. A major political face-off has now erupted over that. The BRS has even moved the Telangana High Court against its installation, claiming that this makeover is an insult to Telangana's identity and to its legacy. The BJP too joining in that chorus, criticizing the move. But the Revanth Reddy government continues to maintain that the new statue is an apt representation of the real women of Telangana. What's exactly the bone of contention though? Let me break it down for you. There were two versions of the statue. In the old one, the Telangana Thalli is seen holding a maize in her hand. A maize here is meant to reflect prosperity of the region. The new statue, that maize has been retained, but its positioning has been moved from the right hand to the left. In the old statue, you can see a pot in one hand. The pot is a cultural symbol of one of Telangana's biggest festivals. However, in the new statue, that Batukama pot has been removed altogether. It's been replaced with an open palm. The opposition has questioned this as a Congress's symbol that's now trying to find its place in the statue. The old statue donned a pink silk sari meant to represent the famous silks of Garhwal and Pochampalli. The new statue does not represent it anymore, and the pink silk sari has been replaced with a green everyday sari. The symbolic crown and toe rings meant to represent the married women of the state and signify the filigree ornaments of Karimnagar have also now been removed. The new statue does not have the crown. The waistband has also been omitted from the new design. This is all an appropriation by the Congress of their own legacy and not that of Telangana, say its political rivals. So as the statue controversy rages, is that allegation of Congress trying to appropriate this legacy valid? We'll open that up.
Unfortunate what the Congress party is trying to do. This gentleman today wants to reinvent history and wants to reincarnate Telangana Thalli.
ये तेलंगाना तल्ली गांव में कैसा रहता वो अब बहुत बड़ा अच्छा तरीके से गांव में कैसा लेडीज रहते डायमंड का नेकलेस डायमंड ऐसा ऐसा वो करोड़ों का आदमी वो रिच पीपल है ना हम गरीब लेडी का लगाया तेलंगाना तल्ली गरीब लेडी कैसा रहते वैसा बनाया.
Srinivas Reddy, spokesperson of the Congress, joins us. Ravula Sridhar Reddy, senior leader of the BRS and senior journalist R. Rajgopalan continues to be with us on this broadcast. Let me open up by asking Srinivas Reddy. The allegation, sir, against you is that the Congress is trying to make this about the Congress party and not so much about the state of Telangana.
Good evening.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. The allegations which the BRS or the BJP which they are trying to create is totally baseless, and they are just trying to create a controversy out of nothing. Because basically Telangana Thalli, the present statue which is made is represents the common person. What they say is that the ornaments which were depicting, which were there in the earlier statue, they have been removed, and they want to make something a issue over the ornaments. Well, here we have a statue which clearly shows us that it represents the common person of Telangana. For example, if you see in any common household, how Thalli in Telugu means a mother. So how a mother would be at home is what we are looking at here. And the earlier statue had all the ornaments depicted on that. Then they say that there is something BJP says that Congress has them in the hand. Kindly understand that most of the statues or most of the gods or whatever, the hastam which is shown in the statue right now, it depicts the Abhaya Mudra. It has got nothing to do with the Congress symbol or got nothing to do with all these political issues. They are just trying to politicize on this subject because BJP and BRS, they have done nothing. In the past 10 years, when the BRS was in power, why did they not officialize the Telangana Talli statues, make identity? They could have officially put up a Telangana Talli statue. They chose not to do that, and now they are trying to create a controversy out of nothing. They just want to create a controversy because they need some topic to talk on and create a political issue and then show the Congress government in poor light. That is what is happening right now.
Ravula Reddy, is that what this is about? That whatever BRS did, the Congress wants to do away with. This is not the first time that we've seen it. Names of schemes were changed. Several other decisions were overturned once the Congress came to power in the last 1 year. Is this just about that then?
It's unfortunate that Revanth Reddy's government setting up a wrong precedent. Whenever governments change, it is not necessary that they change the names, they change the titles, they change
Srinivas Reddy, let him finish, please. You had your time. Let him speak. I'll come back to you for your rebuttal. Let him finish his point.
As and when the government changes, it is not necessary. They change the titles, change the designs, change the patterns, trying to set your own mark. You have to work for the betterment of the state, to develop the standards of the life of the common man. That is what is actually expected out of you. Today, this is all hypocrisy. And the same design of the past design, in the same design, thousands of statues across Telangana, they were installed. From 2007 till date, thousands of, I should say, in 12,750 more villages we have in Telangana, thousands of, many such statues were installed. And this particular design, the past design, was there in the minds of the people, common man. It was imprinted in their minds. Just by changing and, officializing it. My friend is saying, why PRS party or PRS government has not officialized? I am saying the endorsement of the common people, endorsement of Telangana people is more than any official statement or any official, note that is issued by the government. And the past design was approved, rather accepted by all parties. The statues in the past design were installed not by only BRS party. Many, public forums, many political parties, including Congress party today, would have installed in the same design in the past so many days. So issue is not the design. Issue is they wanted to do their own, show something different. Number two, I'm really surprised. At one hand, Abhaya Mudra. See, you say goddess, and at the same you say mother. If you are really wanting to install mother, you don't have to show the Congress party election symbol. And I was surprised to listen to one of the ministers saying the crown and the golden ornaments only represents the rich. Sorry, every individual on this earth wants their mother to look pretty good, beautiful, rich. Why it should not be? Do you mean that Telangana goddess mother or Telangana Talli should not look rich? Why should she be representing a poor status?
It has more far-reaching impact, is what the Congress believes. It has more far-reaching impact that the people of the state would see this version as a more appropriate version and see themselves in it than a goddess, is what the Congress says.
That is Congress party statement. That is not the common man statement. This was never put before anybody. The previous design was accepted and was, many people were taken into cognizance when we have finalized that. When Shri KCR finalized the past design, we have taken the poets, writers and the civil society into cognizance to finalize that. Today, unilaterally, Congress government has decided and they wanted to leave their mark of their own. And I'm telling you, our government, Shri KCR's government, wanted to install this statue, Telangana Talli statue, on the main road between the Secretariat and the Martyrs Memorial. Today, in the same place, Congress party, without public interest, has installed Rajiv Gandhi statue and putting Telangana Tali statue.
And we saw the
in the
controversy that
secretariat.
erupted back then as well, which is why
That is what
I
I'm trying
asked
to
right
say.
at the start if this was a
This was
sort of
not
a
done in
tit
the
for
public
tat
interest.
sort
They
of a
wanted to impress
decision.
upon Sonia Gandhi ji.
Sure.
Nothing.
Sure, but Arash Gopalan, let me get you in as well. You know, this charge of Congress trying to appropriate the legacy. Incidentally, it comes on the day that Sonia Gandhi celebrates her birthday on. It's also the day when the first step of Telangana's formation was taken. And Revanth Reddy, multiple times in the past, has called Sonia Gandhi as the mother of Telangana because she was the one who took the first step. Put all of that together, is that why perhaps a wrong message is being sent out or a wrong signal is being sent out?
The Congress government in Telangana did a greatest mistake of installing the statue, because you see the color of the saree, Poonam. They are irritated with the saffron or red color. Even, for example, both the Reddys, Congress spokesperson and BRS spokesperson, should enlighten me, because I speak Telugu. This Andhra Pradesh, there is a song, Telugu Talli Amma song. And will Mr. Revanth Reddy also change that? Why should only go for change of this one? Because Mr. Revanth Reddy is in the grip of Adani, and he is in the grip of Adani. He wanted to satisfy the Congress leadership. That is why he is creating this type of controversies. And Mr. Revanth Reddy, I am telling you, his government is, in creating a lot of discomforts, and he is not at all ruling the state. You doing only political gimmicks like this. My understanding of this change of Tali statue and opening it today has some political significance. He wants to satisfy the masters and Masterini. But Mr. Revanth Reddy, you insulted the Telugu tribe, and you insulted the Andhra and Telangana, both the sides. Congress government should withdraw this. And whenever the new government comes, I am very sure, whether BRS or BJP, they will again change it. So, Mr. Revanth Reddy, your venture is only short-lived, and you have done with a ulterior motive.
But Mr. Rajgopalan, then if you said, if another government comes to power, they'll just change it back. But then doesn't not make that the pride of the party and not really of the people or the state? Because that's just, I don't like what you did, so let me change it and let's go back to what I did. Not to forget the wastefulness as far as resources and money is concerned to do that.
Of course, Congress wants to enjoy that, because he wants to overcome the shadow of that Adani agent. 100 crores rupees he got, it's not a bribe. It is not
which is returned, that grant he is returned, saying I don't want to be associated with someone like Adani.
Why should he return after Rahul Gandhi's pressure? Why should they go on arresting Mr. KTR and BRS leaders? What is the drama, madam? You have been elected to rule the country, rule Telangana, and you should not be doing this type of gimmicks. And as a strong undercurrent is there in Telangana for Mr. KCR and for BJP, you take it from me, the Telangana government is going to be short-lived. There is going to be a crisis after January or February politically. Wait and watch. Revanth Reddy cannot withstand that storm.
Srinivas Reddy, you want to respond? You had your hand up.
Yeah. With all due respect to you, Mr. Rajgopal, we do not agree with you even on a single point here, because what you say about Adani, that our CM being an agent of Mr. Adani, that is not acceptable, because you say that 100 crores of rupees has been given by Adani. Do you even know what this is happening over here? You know why 100 crores has been returned?
Why?
And where he has given it? Yes, he has given it for the Skill Development University, which was sent back by Revanth Reddy Garu, because it is not because of any pressure from anyone, but it was a decision taken by him. And the
timing, Srinivas Reddy, is definitely suspect. But the timing, Srinivas Reddy, is definitely suspect. Once we started seeing these protests in Parliament, outside Parliament or inside even, with slogans being raised, a few days later, we have Mr. Revanth Reddy come out and make that public statement that we are giving it back. And interestingly, while the Congress protests against this in Delhi, in Telangana, those protests are not being allowed because they are being done by your political rivals.
It is Mr. Revanth Reddy's decision to send it back, and it has been sent back. And as regards the colors on the statue, let us come back to the main subject right now where we are. As regards the color of the saree of Telangana Talli, the Congress government has put a green color because it represents the agricultural background of the state. Pink Pink is not something which represents the agricultural background of the state. We are talking about Congress is a party for the common people, and we are talking about the common man here. And common man, we are trying to represent what the common man feels like. Nobody says that common man's mother should not be rich or should not imagine to be rich. But on a day-to-day basis, nobody wears a crown and sits on the sits and decides. What we are trying, Mr. Rahul Reddy was saying about that everybody wants their mother to be looking rich, and everybody wants their mother to be adorned in ornaments. Definitely, yes, I agree to that point. But here we are having a statue which tries to represent how someone looks in their house daily, and we are talking, and we are talking about Abhaya Hastam in the Congress party. They are saying Congress party symbol in the picture. Sir, almost all the gods and goddesses have that. Does that mean that you will start removing all the statues, or you will say that all the statues are representing the Congress?
Rahul Gandhi showed it in
Parliament.
And Rahula Reddy, as far as connotations of certain symbolism and certain symbolism and party is concerned, the Abhay Hastam may be your interpretation that that's the Congress's hand, which is why they want to put it on the statue. Like the Congress says, you wanted the sari to be pink because that's a color that's associated with your party. So that allegation then holds true for both sides.
I'm sorry, he is wrong.
At least one particular community in Punam.
Wait a second.
Rahula Reddy, go ahead.
The color which the past design has, the sari color, is not completely pink, number one. Number two, they are confused rather. No mother blesses any child like this. Either you say mother or you say goddess, number two. Number three, they have removed the Batkama part from the design. Batkama is festival which we like during Dasara. For 9 days, we celebrate Batkama, that is in the hearts of Telangana people. The most precious festival that every Batkama means calling life into your life, inviting life. You are asking everybody to live, with a lot of happiness, a success, a prosperity, something like that. That represents the common man. And every woman in this Telangana, rather every individual rather, every person likes Batkama, that was removed. And hand, you're showing. And though, it symbolizes Congress party's election symbol, it is true. What is they trying to do? What is they trying to, showcase? So here, even the maize was there in the past design. So crown and ornaments, do you think, that's what I'm trying to ask you. Do you want Telangana people to be representing the poverty? Don't you want your mother to be appearing rich, appearing good?
Sure, but Raj Gopalan, the Congress government says that this is a true tribute to the state of Telangana because we're talking about the farmers of the state. And this is what represents the farmers, this is what represents the everyday woman of the state.
In the past design,
sure.
automatically represents the farmers.
Sure, Raj Gopalan.
Punam, it is not that. The pot which Madam, the Thali is having is significant a rich culture, Pongal. And second thing, I know in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, they dance with that, with that pot. Because pot symbolizes the agriculture. Why should they remove it? Because you want to show the hand. Mr. Rahul Gandhi also in Lok Sabha said, Shivji had a hand, Guru Nanak had a hand. Now Revant Reddy has found that Talli also has a hand. Wrong decision by Revant Reddy. Please withdraw that. Please remove it. Otherwise, people will be voting you against because it affects.
But Mr. Raj Gopalan, then aren't we on a slippery slope? Now that statue has already come up. You can see the kind of grand celebration that took place while that statue was being involved. Now, while that was being unveiled. Now you have, if you want that decision to be withdrawn, imagine the kind of resources and money you'd have to spend on doing that. Isn't that counterproductive again?
For everything, there should be a consensus. There should be conversation. And my understanding is, Mr. Revant Reddy should have called for an all-party meeting and given the design. And let the design be approved by the all-party. I would suggest that she should have a pot. Revant Reddy may say it's different thing. So there will be conversation. Why should Mr. Revant Reddy behaves like a Rahul Gandhi and he's an entertainer in Telangana politics?
Sure. Srinivas Reddy, another issue is that this was a unilateral decision. That consensus was not built by the Chief Minister because it's not a party symbol, it's the state symbol, as you are also saying. So if it was about the state, then why not take all stakeholders on board?
Earlier also, when the Telangana Talli statue was, it was formulated as sometime back in 2007, and there was no consensus on that, as Mr. Rahul Reddy is saying that all the parties were invited and everything. I'm sorry, let me finish, Rahul. All the parties were invited. Then there was a discussion or something of that sort has happened. Nothing of that sort has happened. A project was taken up, and as one sculptor has sculpted the statue, and it was bought and put up. It was put up in the TRS office, at the then Telangana Rashtra Samiti office, not anywhere else. It was put up in a private place, in a place belonging to the TRS party. So what is when they were in power for last 10 years, did they not have the will to put it up in the secretariat? Did they not have the will to do or officialize the same whatever they wanted to do? They could have done it.
But they put it up in a place where you removed it and put Rajiv Gandhi's statue. That's another allegation against you. That the place that they put it in, that was not acceptable to you either.
At that point of time, they said they wanted to put, but they have never put it. Right?
Poonam, let me just
Okay, so is this the Congress trying to appropriate the legacy, or is this the BRS and the BJP trying to make this a political war? Is this really about politics, or is it really about the people of Telangana and the legacy of Telangana? Well, the jury's out on that. I thank you all, gentlemen, for joining us here on this discussion. It's a wrap from my side on Plain Speak. Anand Narasimhan joins you next.
Greenlam Laminates presents CNN News 18 Primetime Studio.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narasimhan, coming to you live from the CNN News 18 Primetime Studio presented by Greenlam Laminates.